Hello and welcome to another episode of Talking with Chander Shankar. Today I have the pleasure to introduce you once again Chander Shankar from Enkindle and Empower, an organization that believes in a mission everyone can live a life of limitless possibilities. To drive this mission forward, Chander guides his clients through one-on-one coaching, inspiring through his daily messages on the social media platforms like LinkedIn, WhatsApp, Facebook, YouTube, with a vision how to become more effective and how to become a better version of yourself. Chander delivers mindset coaching to individuals, is a certified master coach and a master practitioner from the American Board of Neuro-Linguistic Programming. Today we have with us Gyani from Mumbai who would like to ask a question to Chander. Welcome, Gyani.
Hi all. Hi Chander. Hi Satya. Nice to be here, and I'm glad that I have a question to ask, which is an important one, which actually goes like sometimes in life you go through stuff which is unwanted, or let's say negative emotions or negative feelings. You feel bad. You feel bad about something. You feel stressed. What eventually happens is that when you don't know how to handle the stress, you tend to get angry, upset, and sad. How do you deal with that? What do you do? So in a given situation, if someone is not listening to you or someone is not hearing you out, you can get upset and sad, and that leads you to a certain feeling which is negative. How do you take it out? How do you pick it up and just throw it away? Because I think there's a tool, there's a technique, there's something there which can help us to move ahead, leave all of that and move ahead, is what my thing is.
Okay, thanks, Gyani. Let me rephrase the question in what I understand. So, when we have a negative experience, we automatically get negative emotions, like anger, sadness, etc. And what can we do to come out of this negative state and improve our
frustration? I believe, if I'm not wrong, I guess maybe frustration is also a negative emotion.
Yes. So, the most important thing, I think, what we need to understand is that the words that people use, right? They are meant for them. They're not meant for us. So a simple word like picnic can have multiple meanings, right? So it can mean in one place, it could mean going to the beach. Some places it could mean going to the party. So it can mean anything. And so when people are sharing their experiences with us, or when they are behaving in a certain way, they're using certain words, they will trigger some emotions, and that's normal. How we deal with the understanding of those words in our world, we need to listen very clearly and maybe ask the other person what they really mean before we start judging what they really mean. So that's one thing we should take care of, right? Secondly, I would say that an important principle is how we communicate. So if we are talking to people and they are just behaving differently, then we just assume that either they're disrespectful, or they don't care about us, or that we are not good enough. There's so many things that start coming up in our heads. And then we start getting these feelings of frustration, anxiety, etc. Right? Now, what we have to do in such situations is to take the responsibility of communication on ourselves. So in neuro-linguistic programming, there is a principle of communication that says that the meaning of communication is in the response we get. Right? So when we say that, it really means that we are in charge of our communication. So if people don't understand what we are saying, we need to rephrase them. We need to maybe change our words and try and understand why we are feeling what we are feeling. Right? And a quick way to get out of those negative states is to not be judgmental and try and understand the model of the world of the other person. So if I give my specs to you and say everything should be clear, it will not be as clear, right? Just because the power of my lenses will be different to the power of your lenses. So the same way, the way people think and act, it's from their perspective. We have to understand that, and there's another principle that comes from NLP is respect for other person's model of the world. So understanding this aspect really makes the difference, really helps us understand why we are experiencing a particular negative emotion, and accepting the fact that there can be some things we can do, or maybe not judging, or maybe not, maybe we have to ask more questions rather than just understand, just taking things on as they are, right? So asking more questions, listening more closely, and trying to understand the concept of well-wishers. Right? Everybody is our well-wisher. So if someone is telling us something negative, so in their model of the world, they want us to be perfect in a different way than what we think. So that will give us that belief that if this person is a well-wisher and if they're telling us to do something differently, or if they are showing us negative emotion, it is their state of mind, it is not us. So we need to figure out how we can take care of ourselves, how we can be more empathetic with the other person, and say thank you, be grateful for the feedback that they're giving us. That those are some of the things that will actually help you understand why you are getting frustrated so often. Are you judging them from your own lenses? Are you not able to communicate properly? Maybe they are telling you something which you don't understand, and then you just take it as the words they are. Maybe you need to ask more questions and understand their perspective. That will give you more clarity and more confidence and more peace of mind.
Great. Thank you so much. That's a different way to look at it, which I had not thought. I think let me try that.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gary.
No, I think that was some great insights, Chander. I really appreciate that. I think what I took out from that is the way you summarize is that people actually think and act with their perspective, and the lens example that you gave us, So what I took out is that we shouldn't be judgmental. We should ask some more clarifying questions, and effectively and we need to take responsibility in those situations when we have those negative emotions. It's more around, what you talked about in the NLP language about communication is more around the response we get, and how do we actually make our way through that response, not being judgmental, and asking those clarifying questions could really help. So I thought that was very useful. Thank you very much. Gyani, thank you very much for your time and your question.
Thank you so much. Welcome.
Thank you, Satya. Thank you very much. Thank you, Gyani.